Well, good afternoon, friends. It is Wednesday afternoon, the 29th of April, and I just wanted to bring you a video today that kind of sharing something that blessed me last night, and I'm hoping that by me relaying it to you, it will bless you as well. Now, first of all, I want to apologize because if you're not from New York, upstate New York, we have these things called black flies, and they normally come out around Mother's Day and tend to go away around Father's Day. Apparently this year they did not check their calendar because it is the end of April and they're already here. Not an exciting thing for us in the North Country. So I apologize for my swatting in the air as you watch the video, but that's the reason why. So last night, about 10 o'clock, I came out on our porch and I looked up into the sky and I see this beautiful half moon that is so beautifully lit by the sun. And I go back inside and I grab these nice binoculars that I have and I focus them on the moon, and I'm amazed at what I see. I can actually see the craters on the surface of the moon on the lit side. It is just so beautiful. And I think it's because the sky was so crystal clear last night. It just allowed for a great opportunity to look at our moon. And then, off to the right in the western sky, I caught the other bright light that's in our evening skies, and that is certainly Venus. Here is Venus some 25 million miles from Earth. It's the second closest planet to the Sun. It's Earth's closest planet, and it was so bright last night, and I didn't realize it until I went in and checked the computer, but apparently last night on the 28th, it was the brightest night of the entire month of April to observe Venus, and it was just so bright in the sky. And I thought to myself, you know, God, you are so amazing and creative that you hang these things in our sky for us to observe, to just realize how wonderful and sovereign and supreme that you are. You know, the moon's only 250,000 miles from planet Earth, so I think sometimes we see it so often that we kind of take it for granted. Now, again, with Venus being a lot further away, we see it, but we don't spend the time to really observe it too much unless you have a telescope and you're into stargazing. Venus is an interesting planet. They say that life is not able to exist there because the average temperature is 800 and some degrees. It's hot enough to melt lead on the surface of Venus. Apparently there's a lot of clouds that surround Venus, and because of that it holds in the heat from the sun, so it never cools down. It's kind of a weird planet too because it also rotates opposite direction of what Earth does. If you were on Venus, the sun would rise in the west and set in the east, just opposite of what we experience here on Earth. But as I was looking at these two objects in the sky, it reminded me of what David said in Psalm 119:1, where he says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies proclaim the work of his hands." And then later you read in Psalm 147 verse 4 is that he determines the number of the stars and he calls each one by name. Isn't that amazing, friends? We have trillions and trillions of stars in the known universe, and he knows the number of their days, each one of them, and he calls each by name. What an amazing, amazing God we serve. And it got me to thinking that sometimes in our lives we become overwhelmed. We just don't know how the end's going to turn out, and we become frustrated, or we may become depressed or anxious for what's going on. And we have to remember that the good and great God that created everything we see, that hung each star in place, is big enough to care for you and I. He's big enough to take care of the needs that we have in our life. We just need to trust Him. We need to lean on Him in the faith that He has given us, and the fact that we are His children. And if He cares for the planets that He hung in space, He certainly cares about us. And He will certainly take care of our needs. They don't always get answered exactly in the way that we would like, but He always has our best interest at heart. That's the God that we serve. I pray that's encouraging to you today, in the midst of some things that you may have going on in your life that have you a little bit overwhelmed. Just remember who God is and how majestic our God is. I love you, friends. I miss you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Hopefully someday sooner than later in person. Otherwise, I'll see you again on a video here before too long. You have a great day, a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.